Today's video is about how to notarize your document in Vietnam. Now, most teachers have gone through hell because they couldn't notarize their document and they had to give their original legalized document to their employers. As a result, they became slaves. In this video, I'm going to tell you how to notarize your document, the cost involved, where to notarize, and even the difference between legalization, translation, and notarization. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, like the video if today is your first time coming into contact with this video. My name is Kwekus Kenya Branty. When I had the opportunity to make my own document this year because I was going to work with another employer, it became very difficult because this time I was parting ways with my former boss and I had to do things myself. And the employer was not treating me like my boss, who was virtually doing everything for me. For her, I had to do everything. Like I need to notarize my document, I need to get these court documents, do this by myself, and then just hand the document over to her. So she would just go over the process of just stowing the work permit and the TLC. That is the problem most teachers find themselves. Now, others who don't do that, they find themselves paying huge sums of money, being deducted from their salaries, from their employers. Now, if it's your first time coming to Vietnam, or if you've been here for some time, you realize that your first time, your agent or your boss deducted, the least is 200K, and some deduct as high as 500,000 from your money, saying they are going to notarize your document for you. So, having been able to go through this, I decided to share the process, what you need to do, the cost, and why you even need it, so that going forward, if somebody also wants to notarize his document, it becomes easy for the person. That is how we lead, by making life easy for others. So today I'm going to talk about notarization. Now, first of all, let me start by legalization. So before you come to Vietnam to teach, there are two types of legalization. Your country's legalization, first one in your country's foreign affairs, and the other one in the nearest Vietnamese foreign affairs that's around you. So in Ghana, the nearest foreign affairs is the Vietnamese foreign affairs is Nigeria. I don't know if the name foreign affairs is correct. So for Ghana, you need to go to the Ghana's foreign affairs to have this document legalized. And what they basically do is that they go through the document and they verify that it belongs to you, and then they will write a long letter. I, Richard Appeal to Second Deputy Judicial Secretary, blah 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 blah, and it goes like that. So this is what you get from the Ghana embassy. I'm sure Nigeria too will have something similar like this, and any country you come from will also have something similar like this. So this is what you have, confirming that your certificate that you have is genuine, is a genuine certificate. Now, when you are done, you take this document to the nearest Vietnamese embassy. You take it to the nearest Vietnamese embassy. Now, what they will also do is just to append their, I don't know how to call it, it's a seal. Yes, they will append a seal. Now, this is the seal. This seal is from the Vietnamese embassy. So Ghana, the nearest Vietnamese embassy is in Nigeria. Others too can legalize it from South Africa. So which one of them is closer to you or you have access to, you just go and then you do it, as simple as that, and then you take it from there. So after having this seal, it means you are done. Your certificate is now legalized in Ghana or in your country's foreign affairs, and then the Vietnamese foreign affairs. The reason is, in Vietnam, they won't allow you to just walk with your university certificate for your country looking for a job. It doesn't work like that. They don't know your certificate. So unless you do this two legalization, you can't just walk or wake up tomorrow and go to Vietnam with your original university. They don't recognize it. They do not recognize it. I know other countries also have their means of also assessing your certificate. So after having this done, the next thing is to notarize this, your legalized certificate. Now, one of the reasons why a lot of teachers have their certificate with their employers is that they don't notarize their certificate. And so once they go, they meet their boss, they just go and then give this original document to them and your boss will keep that certificate. So if you give this original notarized certificate, these are your original certificates. Although you have your original, these are the original. This is what you're going to work with in Vietnam. If you don't have this document, you can never get a work permit in TLC in Vietnam. So most teachers, the mistake they make is that they don't notarize their certificates. So they will hand over these original certificates to their boss, and once you do that, you become a slave to your boss. Because once she keeps this or she gets hold of this, you can't leave the time you want. If your boss is even misbehaving, you can't leave. You can't just wake up and leave, because you need to get this certificate, and they won't give it to you. A lot of teachers are tied to this. A lot of teachers are victims to this. They don't have the original certificates with them. It is with their bosses, because they handed over their original legalized certificate to their boss. So after doing this, the next thing is you need to notarize the original certificate. The notarization is what you give to your boss to keep for you. Now the notarization is just like the original. So how do you get the document notarized? I also realize that some bosses take huge money from their teachers in the means of just notarizing for them. So notarization is just photocopying your original certificate. Elsewhere in the West, you just go and then just run a photocopy of your original certificate and you are done. But in Vietnam, after running a photocopy of your certificate, you need to notarize it. Now, what is notarizing? Notarizing is that you take it to a notary office. A notary office is when they will check the genuineness of the document, and then they will fix a stamp to it. So it can be a black copy. For Vietnam, they don't care. All that they need to see is that the certificate should have this red seal. That is the most important. That is the notarization we're talking about. This red seal with a date. So when you notarize this, I think it mostly takes 1 year. Yes, it's 1 year. After 1 year, you can use it again. So you can see this. This ends in 2024 with this original thing here. This is the red stamps here. That is what makes it notarized, and meaning that the courts and the system in Vietnam have accepted, so I can transact business with this with this photocopy with this seal on. Now, one important thing is that even when you go to apply for a visa, most of them will request a notarized copy of your visa, a notarized copy of your work permit, and a notarized copy of your document. They don't. You take the original to them. They don't like original. They'll tell you we need the notarized copy, because the notarized copy is what has been approved for use in Vietnam. Now, how do you notarize your document or your certificate? It's pretty easy. Now, for your police report and your criminal record, and the police report is the the criminal record, and your medical health, you can walk into any notary office. There are notary offices all spread across Vietnam. I'll fix some so you can check. So for instance, you can go and then notarize those copies there. But for your university certificate, like your Legalise certificate, if you want to notarize them, you have to take it to where you have your address. That district committee, we call it a district committee. It's more or less like the regional court, or the regional court. Let me put it like that. You go there and then you give to them. They will check your certificate. Now your certificate should have this seal. Anything they can notarize should have this legalized seal. It doesn't have the legalized, they won't do it for you. So I sent about 5 copies. They only notarized the ones with this seal. The ones without this seal, they rejected them. So once it has this seal, it's just within 5 minutes they are done. And the cost is very small, like 50K. Like 50,000 Vietnam dong, less than 100,000 Vietnam dong.